Hi, Peter Bulker here, and welcome to today's edition of the Transition Guide. Now today I want to draw parallels between Maslow's hierarchy of needs and a business hierarchy of needs. And for those of you that went through an education system, I'm sure that at some stage you came across Maslow's hierarchy of needs, being the 5 different tiers of needs we have as human beings. Now at the very bottom, our foundation tier is our physiological needs. And there's food, water, warmth and rest. These are the things that we need to be able to function as basic human beings. Then we have our next set of needs. Above that, our safety needs. The need to be safe. The need to have security around us. So these are our basic needs, these 2 tiers. Then we move on to our psychological needs, which is then belonging and love needs. Intimate relationship, a good circle of friends. Above that we have our esteem needs, our prestige and feeling of accomplishment. Then we move on to the final tier at the very top. It's the self-fulfillment needs. It's all about self-actualization, achieving one's full potential, including all our creative activities and what we can become. Now what's quite interesting is we're going through the pandemic. And actually, people are losing their jobs, there's gross uncertainty out there, people are scared. And what really sort of is interesting is that when I look at the majority of marketing out there, the social posts coming, most of them are up this freaking level here, self-actualization. You can be what you want to be, you can do what you want to do, you can be anything and all this wonderful stuff, which is great, but means absolutely zip if you're down here and you can't feed yourself, you can't water yourself, you can't keep yourself warm and you've got nowhere to sleep. And I think what we need to be careful of is that when we are sending messages out there, who do we want to talk to? And where are they at this moment in time in the hierarchy of needs? And it's the same thing with a business. It's no different. Think about it. When you're marketing to a business and they're not getting back to you for whatever reason, it may not be that there is a problem with your product or service. Their circumstances may have changed. And therefore actually where you fit in to their hierarchy of needs is no longer important. Think about it. Businesses have gone through trauma over the last 6 to 8 months. And they're still going through it today. If you're a business owner, primarily at the very basic level, what needs to happen? Well, you need to make sure that you've got money in the bank so that you can pay for your bills. You've got heating in the building. You can keep your building. They're your basic needs. And if someone's offering you a service that's not going to allow you to make that a reality, you're not going to be interested. You're not going to get back to them. It's not the fact that you're being rude. It's actually, that's not where you're at because you've got bigger problems to get right first. So make sure that you've got the basics in place. Then we go to safety. Now in a business format, safety could be actually, well, what does my business safety look like? Okay, do I have enough cash flow to get me through? Do I have enough income in sales to get me through? Because at the end of the day, if I don't have, my business is not safe and I don't have that forward visibility and I don't have the confidence to go forward, I'm not going to be thinking about anything else. I need that need satisfied. Now, once you've got those 2 needs satisfied, you could then have the need of team. My business is safe and I need a great team to keep my business moving forward. That's when we start looking at this level, the psychological level, making sure you've got the right team on board. So actually you're delivering the right service, but you're enjoying your business. Then you've got the self-esteem needs. Well, in this case in the business is actually, okay, well, where do we want the business to go? Now that we've got all the basics covered, actually, what do we want our business to stand for? Where do we want a niche? How do we want to perceive ourselves? And it goes on and on and on. But the reality is, the basics need to be fulfilled. And when you're marketing your product, you've got to really think about the people you're speaking to and where do they fall in the hierarchy of needs. you can see that the business hierarchy of needs and Maslow hierarchy of needs are very similar, if not identical. The only thing that differs is the words that we use and the languaging. Everything else is still the same. Why? Because whether you're a human being or whether you're a business is run by humans. And at the end of the day, they still have to go through the hierarchy of needs by Maslow. Now, if anything I've spoken about today resonates with you, you want to talk about your business hierarchy of needs, and perhaps actually where do you need to be focusing on right now so that you can go up the pyramid, head over to Boolkah.com and get in touch. If you've loved today's episode, please like it, please share it with others so they can benefit. If you've got any comments on today's episode, please leave them in the comments section. If you've got any questions, also please leave them in the comments section. I'd love to interact with you. Well, thank you very much for tuning into today's episode. And remember, failing to learn is learning to fail. Stay safe.